We're talking about boobs again. If you're a breastfeeding parent and you are having pain in your breasts, you could have a clogged milk duct. So let's get it fixed up. So I made this video all about flange sizes, and during it I talked about clogged milk ducts because a wrong size flange can cause you to have clogged milk ducts. And then you guys said to me, I want to know how to get rid of clogged milk ducts. So that's what this video is talking about today, and during it I'm actually going to be referencing the newer guidelines from the Academy of Breastfeeding Medicine, and I want you to have access to that guideline, so I am linking it down in the caption. So first things first, what is a clogged milk duct? Well, we used to think it was like actually a physical clog within the milk duct that was stopping the milk from getting out of the breast. But more recent research is showing us that it's not so much like a physical blockage as it is microscopic narrowings and inflammation within the milk duct. And you're like, I have a clogged duct right now and it certainly doesn't feel microscopic. And you're right, these do not feel good at all. But milk that stays within the breast can actually make clogged milk ducts worse, and it could set you up for developing a clogged milk duct. So off the top, we should talk about the fact that a really good effective latch is important at preventing clogged milk ducts. And if you're at all concerned about your baby's latch, go ahead and check out this video right here. It's all about getting an effective deep latch, because this is sort of what I talk about here. My name is Tina. I am a labor and delivery nurse, and I have my certification in perinatal nursing. If this type of stuff interests you, which I hope it does because you're here now, go ahead and click subscribe. And now let's talk about what it might feel like if you have a clogged milk duct. Now that you know that milk that's staying within the breast tissue can actually cause a clogged milk duct, you can be on alert for these anytime there's a change to your baby's patterns of feeding. So like they sleep through the night, or you are traveling, or you are introducing solid foods, right? And you're going to notice pain that is localized in the breast. So pain in one area of the breast. It is not going to be the whole breast. It's not going to be both breasts, because that is the place where you're having that narrowing of the milk duct and that inflammation. And because it is localized to one area, you're also likely not going to have those flu-like symptoms that would come with an infection like a mastitis. So you probably won't see fever or chills or shakes. And we'll talk about mastitis later on in the video. You might also have a painful letdown, but that pain might get better as the feed goes on. And you might be able to feel a lump under the skin, and that lump might actually move as the feed progresses. So any of those types of symptoms, that might be a clogged milk duct for you. As I mentioned, there were some big changes that came in 2022 around the recommendations for the treatment of a clogged milk duct. And these changes, they came from the understanding that it is not an issue with a physical blockage of the milk duct, right? It is an issue with inflammation and with narrowing, like we talked about. But if you go on social media, you are very quickly going to find those old recommendations and those old treatment plans, right? I mean, like, do a Google search on how to treat a clogged milk duct, and there it is. So this is really important information to get out there, because if we are appropriately treating a clogged milk duct, you are going to feel so much better, so much quicker. So I'm going to go over all of the old things we used to do and what it has now been replaced with, starting with heat. We used to say apply heat to the breast if you have a clogged milk duct. And now, I mean, you guessed it, we are saying to apply ice to the breast when you have a clogged milk duct. And if we think about it logically, that makes sense, right? If you injure another part of your body and as a result you have inflammation and swelling, like you sprain your ankle, you are not going to slap a hot pack on a sprained ankle, right? You are going to put ice on it, because we know that ice helps to decrease inflammation and to decrease swelling, which is going to make you feel a lot better a lot quicker. So you can do an ice pack, you can do a bag of peas, just make sure that there is something in between that ice and your breast. The next thing we used to recommend was breast massage, but that's no longer a thing, because we now recommend breast rest for a clogged milk duct. Do you know what massaging an area of inflammation is going to do? If you guessed cause more inflammation, you are definitely catching on. If you are to do firm massage on breast tissue that is already inflamed and already swollen, it is only going to cause that inflammation and then your pain to get worse. So instead of rubbing down your breast before you feed your baby, just give your breast a rest. We used to say feed your baby more often and always empty your breast, but Please don't do this, okay? We now say feed your baby on demand and stick to your regular pumping schedule. You don't need to put baby on the breast more often to try to draw out that milk, and you don't need to add in more pumping sessions, because if you do that, this could lead to hyperlactation and an oversupply. If you remember from this video, to make more milk, you need to remove more milk more often. So what you could be doing here is putting more milk into a breast that is already inflamed and already swollen, and that is going to make things so much worse for you. Can you imagine being engorged on a side that is that uncomfortable? So just feed your baby as you normally would, or pump as you normally would. Pulling out more milk more often is not going to make that clogged milk duct get better any quicker. All right, the next old guideline we're smashing is excessively pumping to try to pull that clog out. This is not the vibe, okay? The new recommendation is actually to avoid excessive breast pump use. Now stop for a second. If you are an exclusively pumping parent, this is not to say that if you have a clogged milk duct, you should abandon your breast pump. Please do not do that, okay? It's going to get so much worse. This is just to say that you don't need to be adding in pumping sessions in an attempt to mechanically pull that clog out of that breast, because we now know that is not how it works, right? The reasoning behind this is a breast pump does not remove the milk from the breast as efficiently as a baby's latch and a baby's suck. So if you are using that breast pump, it could lead to overstimulation and oversupply, but then you are not removing that milk as efficiently, which could lead to milk remaining in the breast, and we know that that will make a clogged milk duct that much worse. So no adding in the pumps. With that said though, if you are having discomfort from engorgement and you want to get some milk out of your breast, feel free to do some hand expression. Now, another recommendation to come out of this document is the use of medications for pain control, which makes a whole lot of sense. First line of defense should be a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, otherwise known as NSAIDs. You know this as Ibuprofen or Advil, which makes sense because traditionally this medication is used for pain caused by inflammation, and a clogged milk duct is inflammation and narrowing of that milk duct. You can also use Tylenol, and you can sort of overlap them so that you get pain control all throughout the day. Chat with your provider about dosages and the times that you should be taking these medications. Now, there was something I was surprised about in this document, and that is that they say to avoid the use of silicone breast pumps. And the reason that that surprises me is that there are a ton of people, like a ton of people, who swear by the fact that they use their silicone breast pump and a solution to help clear a clogged milk duct. There are also lactation consultants who recommend this method. So if you have heard about it and you wanted to try it, just clear it with your provider and then let me know in the comments if you would like my recipe for the silicone breast pump Epsom salt solution deliciousness. Now, if you do have a clogged milk duct, it is really important to pay attention to how you're feeling, because it could evolve into a mastitis, and that is actually an infection in the breast. This could look like fever or chills or body aches, or your breast could be red and swollen and hot. If you're noticing any of these symptoms or you are feeling really unwell with this clogged milk duct, it is super important to talk to your provider, because depending on your personal situation, you might actually need antibiotics, and we don't want to have any delay in treatment because we want you and your breast to remain healthy. So some of these techniques might have you noticing that your breast milk supply is actually decreasing. And I totally get it. That can be concerning and disappointing. But once you are feeling better, we can actually work to increase your breast milk supply. I want you to check this video out if it's a concern for you. And if you like this video, give it that thumbs up, consider subscribing, because I love having you here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.